One step a day. How I changed my life by learning English every day. My name is Dao. When I think about how far I've come, it still feels unreal sometimes. There were days when I didn't even have enough time to sleep. But now I can sit here, in my small dorm room in Boston, watching the soft morning light touch the window. Outside, the autumn leaves are dancing slowly in the wind. It's quiet, except for the sound of students walking across the campus. Every morning, I sit down with a cup of warm coffee and open a small notebook. It's old and simple, its corners are bent, its cover is scratched. But inside that notebook is my entire journey. My mistakes, my small victories, my little lessons, and my dreams. Every day, I write one simple English sentence. Sometimes it's something like, "Today is a new day," or "Keep moving, Dao." It might look small, but that small act means a lot to me. It reminds me that learning isn't about perfection. It's about showing up every single day, no matter what. When I first came to the United States, everything was strange. People spoke fast. The streets were full of noise and faces I didn't know. Even in the cafeteria, I often felt lost. Everyone around me was talking and laughing in English. Their voices blended together into a sound I couldn't understand. I wanted to join, but I didn't know how. I remember once, a woman at the counter asked, "For here or to go?" I froze. I had no idea what she meant. I just smiled nervously and pointed to the food. That small moment made me feel so embarrassed, not because she laughed at me, but because I realized how powerless it feels to not understand. For a while, I tried to hide my weakness. I smiled a lot, nodded, said yes, even when I didn't understand the question. But deep down, I was tired of pretending. I come from a poor background. My parents worked every day just to put food on the table. We never had much, but they always told me, "Education can change your life." So I studied hard, even when books were old and pens were broken. But when I came here, I realized that knowing grammar wasn't enough. I could read, but I couldn't speak. I could listen, but I couldn't understand fast English. And there was no teacher here to guide me. I couldn't afford classes. I was already working 2 jobs, one at the campus library and another helping in a small restaurant downtown. Every day started before sunrise and ended late at night. When you work that much, time feels like sand slipping through your fingers. Some nights I walked home so tired that my legs hurt. My eyes were heavy. My head was full of noise. But inside, there was still a small fire, a dream that refused to die. I told myself, "You don't need to wait for the perfect time. Just start." So I did. I made a simple promise to myself. Every day, I will do at least one thing in English. Just one thing. It could be listening to a podcast while brushing my teeth, reading 5 words on my phone during the bus ride, watching one short video with subtitles during lunch, or saying a few sentences before bed, even if I was half asleep. That became my rule. One small action every day. At first, it was difficult. My pronunciation was terrible. I forgot words all the time. But slowly, I noticed small changes. My ears started to catch familiar sounds. I could recognize phrases I'd heard before. It was like learning to hear the world again. I carried my small notebook everywhere, in my backpack, in my pocket, sometimes even next to my plate when I ate dinner. Each page was full of notes, translations, and tiny doodles. It wasn't just a study tool. It was my reminder that effort counts more than excuses. One day, I wrote this sentence: "Dream is not what you see when you sleep. It's what keeps you awake. And I think that line saved me many times when I wanted to give up. My roommate, Jerry, helped me a lot too. She's from Canada, cheerful, kind, and always joking. The first time she heard me speak English, she smiled and said,
"Hey, Dao, your accent is cool."
"Cool? No, it's funny."
No. It's your story. Don't hide it.
I remember one funny morning.
How's your day so far? My day is gooder.
She laughed so hard I thought she might fall off his chair. Then she said gently,
Better, Dao. You mean better.
We both laughed for 5 minutes straight. That small correction, that simple moment, made a huge difference. From that day, I stopped being scared of mistakes. If I said something wrong, Jerry corrected me. If I couldn't find a word, she helped me. And when I improved, she celebrated with me. Every time someone laughed at my English, I learned to laugh too, because laughing means I'm trying, and trying means I'm growing. My schedule was always full. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, that's all I had. But I learned to use every second. While waiting for the bus, I listened to English Daily Town. While eating breakfast, I watched BBC Real English. While folding clothes at my part-time job, I repeated new phrases quietly to myself. Sometimes I talked to myself out loud. I am cleaning the table. I am walking to work. I am tired, but I'm still learning. It might sound silly, but those little sentences trained my brain to think in English. Of course, there were bad days. Days when I didn't want to do anything. Days when I felt stupid, slow, and hopeless. I'd compare myself to others who spoke perfectly and think, I'll never be like them. But then I remembered, they didn't have my story. They weren't working 2 jobs. They weren't standing in my shoes. I told myself, slow is better than stop. And that became my motto. One rainy night, something magical happened. I was working at the library. The building was almost empty. The sound of rain was tapping softly against the glass. I opened YouTube and clicked on a video I had watched weeks before, one that I barely understood back then. But this time something felt different. As the man spoke, I realized I could understand every word, every single word. I froze for a moment, then smiled. I had done it, not all at once, not with luck, but with hundreds of small steps that nobody saw. That night, I went to bed feeling proud. It was a small victory, but it felt like magic. After that, things began to change. My listening improved. My speaking became smoother. At school, I joined more conversations. I even started helping new students who were struggling with English. My professors noticed. My confidence grew. At the library, a tourist once asked for help finding a book. We spoke in English the entire time. When we finished, he said,
"Your English is great. Where did you learn it?"
I smiled and said, "By myself? A little every day." He nodded and said,
"Keep it up. You're doing great."
That one compliment gave me enough motivation for a whole month. Learning English changed more than just my words. It changed how I saw myself. I was no longer the quiet, shy person who smiled and nodded silently. Now I could share my thoughts, tell my story, and make real friends. People often ask me for advice. They say,
Dao, how can I learn English when I'm too busy or too poor?
and I tell them the same thing every time. You don't need more time. You just need a reason strong enough to start. I didn't have extra time or money, but I had a dream, a strong dream that pushed me forward when everything else told me to stop. And that dream became my power. If you're listening to this and you feel tired, stuck, or afraid, Please remember, you're not alone. I was there too. I was exhausted, broke, and scared. But I didn't stop. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin. Start with one sentence, one word, one small step, and keep going. Now, when I look back, I don't see a poor student who worked 2 jobs. I see someone who refused to quit. And I think that's what real success is. Not big victories, but small ones repeated every single day. Every night before I sleep, I still whisper to myself, "Keep going, Dao. You're doing great." Sometimes I still feel tired, but I smile, because I know the journey never really ends. It continues, one step each day. So wherever you are, whatever you're dreaming of, remember this. You don't have to wait for the perfect time. You just have to start. Right here, right now, with what you have. Because the real magic isn't in the language. It's in your heart. The heart that refuses to give up. And if someone like me, who once didn't understand a single word, can do it, then you can too. Don't stop. Keep moving. Your dream is waiting for you, one step at a time. Thanks for watching Learn English with Zhao. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell to follow my study abroad journey and learn English in the most natural way. See you in the next video.